Hello. It's our 1-year anniversary. Let's do it. Hey guys, welcome to episode 40 of Origin PC Live. I'm Alexis Roselle, community leader at Origin PC, and we're also celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Origin PC Live, and I am loving Battlefield 5.
Nice. And we're officially 40 episodes in.
40 episodes deep.
But we have no cake, so
I know.
cake is a lie.
Dang, we should have brought cake.
I'm Kevin Washilewski, CEO, co-founder of Origin PC, and my awesome sister and nephew got me this awesome shirt from the Nintendo store in New York.
Ooh, pretty. So a quick recap for the new viewers of Origin PC Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in gaming, geek news, and what we're up to, and we'll be chatting it up with a special guest. This week's special guest is super exciting for me. It's Mr. Mark Jacobs from City State Games, developers of Camelot Unchained, creator of one of my favorite games of all time, Dark Age of Camelot. I'm super excited to have him on.
Can't wait to chat with him, not to be confused with the Mark Jacobs who creates...
The designer.
Designer.
He is a designer.
So you can interact with us during the show, chat with us, do some posts, use hashtag OriginPCLive, and at the end of the show, we'll be answering your questions live, so ask some questions in the chat.
And with that, let's kick off the show. So our first story is about a potential lead about Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC. What? I didn't even get to see this. Earlier this week, some gaming news outlet pointed out that an anonymous developer from Rockstar had Red Dead Redemption 2 on their profile, and the profile itself noted the work as for 3 platforms, Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Once some attention was brought to the profile as the project information was then updated to only show Xbox One and PS4, adding more fuel to the fire about the PC version of Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm in shock. Kevin, what do you think about this LinkedIn project listing and the rumors of RDR2 on PC?
Well, first of all, I'm loving your reaction. This is the first time you've seen the first time you saw it?
Shocked, yeah.
So Alexis didn't take a peek at the script. And
that's always a surprise for me.
Yeah, it's awesome to see when you're reading the script. I've done that before too. You read the script for the very first time live, and you get some news yourself. So we're getting to see his live reaction to the news. It's pretty amazing.
That is crazy.
I thought it was cool, but I wasn't all that surprised. Rockstar does all their games on PC normally. That's kind of that's what they do, but they do it after the fact. So if there was some information that it was launching this year, I'd be impressed. But I'm still excited for Red Dead Redemption on PC whenever it comes out.
Super excited.
We'll see when it comes out. And
That's
Alexis
incredible.
is shocked.
I'm shocked. I'm so happy. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing right now. That's amazing. Yeah, if that were to happen on launch, I would cancel my PS4 pre-order.
I don't see it happening on launch.
I don't see it happening on launch either. You never really know. I mean, it would be.
These guys weren't even at E3. You never know.
I know they could. That's what they could have been working on. Maybe. I mean, maybe. It's going to be a huge surprise. When do you think they would announce it? I mean, if the game's coming out in October, right?
Not till next year. I wouldn't announce it till next year. It wouldn't ship it.
What I'm saying is, let's say that it was a surprise for them to do a PC launch. When do you think they would say it?
When do I think they would announce the PC launch? As far as like
if it was coming out on day one.
If it was coming out this year?
Yeah.
When would they announce it?
Mm-hmm.
They would have to already announce it.
They would have to announce it
In
already.
my opinion, they would have to have already announced it.
Dang it, hopes up.
You got to get the pre-order engine rolling. You got to get people. They need those pre-orders so they can, forecast their revenue, forecast their servers, all sorts of things like that. They need to run beta testing. But you never know. But I would think that they would announce it 3 months prior, at least, to a PC launch.
Oh, that would be incredible.
So when is the launch again?
October, the week of TwitchCon.
So the launch is October. So technically July would be 3 months. So maybe next month.
Cool. That would be amazing.
That's just my guess, though.
That would be amazing. What's next in the news?
On to some other gaming news. This next story combines gaming news and geek news. The Halo team dropped a major announcement this week.
Boom.
Showtime has officially picked up the Halo TV for a 10-episode season. That's a nice first season, 10 episodes. The show will take place, a surprise, in the Halo universe.
Shocker.
No other details are known. When the story will be, who will be in the story. The series is currently in pre-production and will go into full production in 2019. What do you think about this Halo TV series?
I think that would be pretty cool. I love sci-fi TV shows. I love the Halo universe. I think that's a good combination for sure. I think that would make an excellent story. To see Master Chief IRL live on I guess on my big screen in my house. That's what I meant. But it would be pretty cool. I wonder how they would go with it. If it would be like a prequel, if it would be a directly into the Halo story now, or if it would be after all that stuff's happened. Who knows? But yes. I think it could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're working on a new game, so is this going to tie into the new game, or is it going to be a different timeline, like you said?
That's
one thing's for sure, they're going all out. Microsoft is loading up big time for the next console, or just to try to beat PlayStation. They're loading up like crazy. They got Halo in the works. They're buying developers. They're making a Halo TV series.
They're going all out.
2020 is going to be very interesting.
All in.
For Microsoft. I'm more interested in a Halo TV series than a Halo movie myself.
Yeah, for sure.
Game movies,
I like TV series more than movies because you get to see more of a story.
Exactly.
I wonder who they would cast as Master Chief. That would be very interesting to see.
Yes, if there is a Master Chief, maybe they'll just allude to Master Chief and never show him or her or whatever. We'll see. They
got to show Master Chief. And now for some Origin PC news. So earlier this week, Drifter uploaded his unboxing video where he unboxed our PC with a chainsaw. It was absolutely bananas. I don't know if any of you saw it, but you should. In the video, Drifter took a chainsaw to our Origin PC wooden crate armor, demonstrating his unboxing. Disclaimer, this is totally how you do not unbox an Origin PC from its wooden crate armor. We actually uploaded a video to our YouTube channel that shows how to properly unbox a PC, which obviously Drifter did not watch. You can check out Drifter's unboxing on his YouTube channel, and if you want to see the proper way of unboxing a PC, check out our unboxing on our channel. Kevin, what did you think of Drifter's unboxing? I know you were a big fan.
I like this unboxing. It's always cool to see people unboxing Origin PCs, obviously. We always want to see their reaction, things like that. But content creators, they always want to do something creative, and he was able to do something creative, even though there's been a lot of people who've already unboxed an Origin PC, content creators, customers. But he took it somewhere different that nobody's ever done, so that was cool. I think there was some trolling involved as well. So be warned.
A lot of trolling.
If you watch this if you watch this YouTube video, you may be trolled. But it's a good video. It's very entertaining, and it's cool to see a PC unboxed.
I agree. What do we got in Geek News?
Kicking off our Geek News is some Spider-Man news, Spider-Man movie news. In a video earlier this week, Tom Holland, who currently plays the current incarnation of Spidey, revealed the title of the next Spider-Man movie, and that is Spider-Man Far From Home. He did this on his Instagram. No other details are known, despite some hints that Spidey will be traveling overseas. It does say Far From Home. With Comic-Con coming soon, we might see some more news, or maybe we won't. We'll see. It's also reported that Jared Leto will be starring in a standalone movie for Morbius, the living vampire villain that Spider-Man goes toe-to-toe with occasionally. The movie will solely focus on Morbius, similarly how the Venom movie is going to solely be about Venom.
Interesting.
What do you think about this, Alexis?
I love it. I love the Spider-Man series now. I think Tom Holland's been a great Spider-Man, so I'm really excited to see this next rendition. Jared Leto playing another villain that I really like is sort of disappointing because I didn't like his Joker so far. I know we're supposed to see more of that Joker later, so. But I am excited about the Venom movie, I'll tell you that. What about you? Do you like this new rendition of Spider-Man?
Shots, huh?
Yeah, Jared Leto, come at me, man. I love your music.
I have not seen the new Spider-Man Homecoming, right?
No? Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I do want to see it. However, it's another Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I've seen Spider-Man.
I know, but in this one
But it is on my list. It's on my backlog. I want to check it out. I definitely want to see it. It's probably one of those movies I'll check out on a plane one of these days. Although it's really something you should see in a bigger screen with a better video quality, better audio quality. So one day at home, I got to check it out.
The good part about this Spider-Man is that we didn't get to relive the sadness of Uncle Ben dying again. Like it's always been the same story with every Spider-Man movie. In Homecoming, it was done differently. It was different. Which is cool. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm more excited for the Spider-Man video game, personally.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited about that. So in comic news, it sounds like one of the world's most persistent comic book debates has been officially settled. DC has confirmed that The Flash is officially faster than Superman in this week's issue of The Flash. For years, fans and creators have gone back and forth between the speed capabilities of the two heroes, but it's official. The Flash is faster than Superman. You heard it here first. Thoughts on the settled comic book debate, Kevin?
You heard it here first, or maybe second if you're right here.
Probably second.
I always thought Flash was faster than Superman. Isn't that his thing? Like he's the fastest?
Yeah. But then, no, there was always a constant debate.
Right,
Even
there's
I
always
think
a
they even
debate.
battled each other in a comic book series or two.
It's interesting that they finally settled the debate, and why not let the debate go on forever?
It would make sense that the Flash, the fastest man in the world, would be faster than Superman. I mean, that's his one power, where Superman has like every power. Give Flash the one thing.
That leads to other questions. Is Hulk stronger than Superman because he's the strongest?
Well, it's Marvel and DC, so it wouldn't fit.
Oh.
Who's
we can still debate
DC?
about it.
Yeah.
But we'll never get the answer.
We'll never get the answer.
Until Disney
Who's the
buys them both
DC version of
gives
Hulk?
us the answer.
Right, exactly. Does DC have a version of Hulk? I wonder. I don't really know too much about DC. I hear Lewis typing, so we might have an answer.
I don't know, but I know a lot of Flash
Technically,
fans.
no. Okay.
Well, I know a lot of Flash fans of the Flash, and I'm a fan of the Flash, and I was
Me too. It's one of my
expecting him
favorites.
to be faster, so I'm agreeing with this.
All right, up next is recent releases.
Recent releases already. Shout out the blue microphones for these awesome microphones. Kicking off the recent releases is a new Ubisoft title, The Crew 2, available on PC and other platforms. But we all know it's going to look like this and look the best on PC. Look how good that
right.
is. Race across America in different types of vehicles. So now you have not only cars, you have planes, motorcycles, speedboats, even more. You can explore a persistent online open world, and all the cities are recreated. Look at that. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it does look really good. I think you and I, the first game we ever played together was the first Crew.
This
if you
is
remember
true.
back in the day.
Yes,
and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
forward
hey,
to
look at
checking
that,
this one out.
Miami. All right.
Yeah, Miami was in the first one, too. Yeah.
Nice.
You can drive from Key West. In the first one, you can drive from Key West to Seattle.
That's right.
I'm not sure if they added more, but
that'd be crazy.
looks
I love
awesome.
I love how there's a bunch of different vehicles and stuff that you can choose from. I'm really excited to try this out. I know that they learned a lot about their first title, so hopefully there's a half pipe where you can drive cars on it.
speedboats.
I might have to touch this one this weekend for sure. Also releasing this week is The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit on PC and other platforms. Play as Chris in this adventure game set in the Life is Strange universe. This free story will have some ties to Life is Strange 2, so your choices in this game can impact the story of Life is Strange 2. Very interesting. Did you ever play the first Life is Strange?
I did not.
Neither did I, but I heard amazing things about it.
Likewise, yes.
So I'm really excited to...
I saw some reviews on this, and they didn't give us the best review.
No?
And I'm thinking, it's free.
Yeah, right.
What's wrong with you people? It's free.
That in itself should boost the points up a bit.
Yes. What else we have this week? Just released was Ultimate Custom Night for PC. It's a free-to-play Five Nights at Freddy's mashup, where you can customize your own Five Nights at Freddy's experience with up to 50 creepy animatronic characters and 20 different difficulty levels. Look at this. This is insane. I haven't heard Five Nights at Freddy's. I haven't said that or heard that in a while.
No thanks. I am not a fan of horror games. I never even... I'm a huge fan of what the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise has accomplished and the creator of the game itself, because I thought it was just a very inspiring story. But not a game for me. Not a big fan of these horror games. I hate being scared. I hate jump scares. They freak me out.
What about customizing an experience for somebody else to be scared?
That's kind of cool, I guess, but I still feel like
You have to
during the customization experience, there would be a jump scare for the person customizing, which I'm not. I'm just.
I would like to know if the editor itself has any jump scare moments where it just scares you for no reason.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to figure that out. Up next is our blatant plug of the week, sponsored by Origin PC. So let's talk about first our June promo, which I talked about briefly yesterday. This is the last moments of the June promo. We only have how many more days left? 2. So if you want to take advantage of this, where you get a free external ADATA SSD and a bunch of digital game codes with the purchase of a gaming laptop or gaming desktop, please visit originpc.com right now.
1 day left.
1 day left. Also, this ends on July 3rd. The NVIDIA Crew 2 bundle, that's the last day you can do it, so take advantage of this while it lasts. If you like the Crew 2 and you were thinking about getting a PC anyways, know that if you get it with a 1080 or 1080 Ti, you also get the Crew 2 bundled within it. Limited time from NVIDIA, so check that out.
Oh, my bad. Our next promo starts July 2nd or 3rd.
Oh, okay. So yeah, both of these end on July 3rd.
So you have a couple days, yeah. You're right, there's a couple days left.
Someone said Origin advertising Origin. Yes. Who would have thunk it?
During the blatant plug of the week.
Blatant plug of the week. Crucian's Ultimate Gaming Peripheral giveaway. Crucian in chat right now. Rare Crucian.
Shout out Crucian.
Shout out Crucian. Kushin set this giveaway up all by his lonesome. We're very, very proud of him. He's a tremendous influencer, one of our close friends. He's reached out to all these companies to get you all these amazing products for the Origin PC community and his own community. Echo Gear mount, Pixio monitor, a ton of Corsair peripherals, and a bunch of swag from Origin PC. You could sign up to this, which still has some legs on it, I believe. I forgot when it ends exactly, but you still have time. But still, sign up now. Why not? Why waste time? Go to Twitter, our Twitter, twitter.com/OriginPC, and check out the link. Or the link was just posted in chat by Lewis on Twitch chat. Maybe you can post it in all the chats, maybe?
Boom.
Finally,
There's more.
let's talk about a worldwide giveaway. A worldwide giveaway from Drifter and Astro. You get a chance to win the Astro A40 headsets with their Mixamp TR, which is awesome headsets that I use at home. I absolutely love them. I know you're big fans of these headsets as well, Kev.
Oh, yes, I use the wireless one. So
They're awesome.
Same thing, but wireless.
Amazing sound, super comfortable. Astro makes great headsets. This ends on July 12th, so take advantage of this now. Visit originpc.com/drifter for your chance to win this worldwide giveaway.
Worldwide.
Pew, pew, pew. It's time for what's that?
T-shirt repeat.
Sponsored by Origin PC Gear Shop, where you can get yourself this awesome Eat Sleep Game Repeat shirt, which seems to be also glowing. This camera.
Asterisk, yours will not glow.
Yeah, yours might not glow, not like this smudgy camera that's causing it to glow. So, Eat Sleep Game Repeat, this is where we talk about games that we're playing. This segment is sponsored by our Gear Shop, like I said earlier. Kevin, what are you Eat Sleep Game Repeating?
I think you might be up first.
I can't ask myself this question.
Alexis, what do you Eat Sleep Game Repeating?
I, as you might have seen yesterday on Origin PC stream and my own stream, I'm playing the Battlefield V closed beta. And it is a blast. Now, I would describe it. I was a big fan of Battlefield 1. I like this way better already, even though I've only accessed one map. I would describe it as a nice mix between Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. The gunplay is vastly improved from Battlefield 1. The recoil is more predictable. The map and the graphics are just astonishing. The new little features that they added, like the ability to leap through windows to get away from enemy fire, or to build up barricades, or dig trenches, and the environment's exploding right in front of you. There's some incredible experiences that happened to me last night where it seemed like everything around me blew up and I was just left in the center of the crater, unscathed, but very, very dizzy. And it's so much fun. I'm having a blast with it. The matchmaking was a little bit wonky at first earlier in the day, but I realized later at night when I was playing it at home that it seemed to have been fixed, and the net coding was great. I did see minor rubber banding. The only issue I did find in the closed alpha was the squad issue, the squad bug, which a lot of people were experiencing. But it's obviously something they have to address. It's a squad-based platformer. But other than that, other than those things, I thought the game was tremendous. I'm really excited about the future of Battlefield. I've always been a huge Battlefield fan. They've made some tremendous changes to give back to the community in a sense. They got a lot of the community feedback and they've tweaked this to make it more for the community, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I'm actually, even though everyone kind of groans that they added a Royale mode, I'm excited to try it because I've always wanted to try a Battle Royale mode made by a AAA company like this. So I want to see what they can bring to the table and see how it goes. You actually got to play it as well. What did you think?
Absolutely. I played it yesterday on our live stream. It was very cool. I mean, there were some issues, but it's an alpha, so can't blame them for any of the issues.
Right, exactly.
But it feels like Battlefield. It looks amazing. I can't wait to see more maps.
Sure did.
Can't wait to see the single player. So I'm excited for more Battlefield.
What are you playing?
I am playing this week something completely different. It's an indie game called The Adventure Pals. As you can see here, the graphics are cartoony.
This is
cute.
so your game.
This thing is just oozing with charm. The controls are super tight. It's co-op, so Isabel and I are playing local co-op that you see right there. Even the overworld map, when he's on the drop, that's the overworld map. Even the overworld map is freaking awesome. All sorts of different enemies. There's hidden items. There's stickers you want to collect. There's boss fights. I can't wait to go home and play some more. And there's a giraffe that goes with you. There's a pet rock that goes with you. The bad guys are turning people into hot dogs. So you're trying to stop the bad guys from turning people into hot dogs.
It does look very charming.
It's a ridiculous story, but it's super fun, super charming. I'm loving it.
That looks cool.
Look at
And
all
you
those
said
awards.
is this on the Steam Summer Sale by chance?
This is on the Steam Summer Sale. You can
Damn.
get it for $10, less than $10. You can get it for less than $10 on the Steam Summer Sale. It's crazy, crazy deal.
All right, so up next is check this out.
Oh, already.
Thank you to Elgato for providing the Stream Deck and capture card in our streaming PC. And check this out, we'll be talking about anything we've been checking out. This includes movies, TV, music, tech, gadgets, apps, software, movies, TV, music, tech, apps, gadgets, all of it, twice.
And?
Kevin, what have you been checking out?
And shoes.
And shoes.
All those things, or maybe shoes. When I was at E3 many moons ago, seems like I was forever
Many
ago,
moons.
or maybe like 1 or 2 weeks ago. I was at E3 and an industry friend of mine sent me a text, said, hey, come outside right now with your Nike sneakers app. Check my calendar, and we had a meeting in the morning. It was the last day of E3, and it's very classic that the last day of E3, the meetings in the morning, they don't show up. But I was there. I was ready for the meeting. But the person we were supposed to meet with, they didn't show up because they were out partying the night before or whatnot. So we got the text message, the meeting was canceled, so I'm there standing in the booth. I get this other text message, hey, come outside right now. Okay, I've got the time. So I ran outside, brought my phone with the Nike sneakers app, and you had to be standing by this one palm tree at E3, outside of E3 in LA. That was the only way you could buy these shoes. And I bought the Nike Air Force One PlayStation shoes.
Nice.
Big shout out to my friend that hooked me up with that message.
Nice.
Ran out there, bought them, and ran back inside.
Oh, there the picture.
There you see a picture of the shoes.
And here,
But I can do you one better. Here's the actual shoes.
Dang.
Comes in your classic Nike box.
Nike Air Force Ones.
Air Force Ones. I've already worn them, so there you go.
This segment not sponsored
got a
by
little
Nike,
dirty.
but hopefully will be in the future.
Not sponsored by Nike.
Yet.
But we're open. Call us. Call us.
Yeah,
So
it'd be
you've
awesome
probably
if they
seen
make
these
some
online,
shoes for us.
but there's the PlayStation logo inside the actual swoosh.
Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it.
Kind of see it. You got the PlayStation logo, of course, in the back.
Nice.
You got your
Nice.
PlayStation logo on the inside, but you can't see. But there you go.
Oh, there it is.
Now you can see it. Bling,
Nice,
bling, bling,
nice.
bling, bling. You got your classic
Those
Air
are
Force
sweet.
Ones. They're Nikes, so they're super comfortable. Got PlayStation logos on the
Oh,
bottom.
cool. They have the X's and O's down there. I didn't notice that.
This one has your PlayStation logo on the back,
Uh-huh.
and the other one has the
Oh,
buttons on the
nice.
back.
The classic square triangle
These
XO.
are so nice.
Those
I
are
wish I was
pretty
wearing
sweet.
them right now, but I took them off for the show. So that's mine. Check this out for the week.
Those are
Big
sweet.
shout out to Nike. Big shout out to my industry friend that hooked me up, and shout out to Nike for delivering these because there were a little bit of complications with the billing, shipping, etc. But Nike reached out to me. We got it all settled.
Nice. Hey, way to go, Nike support. So I'm checking out, just used it yesterday for the first time, the Elgato green screen, which is such a lifesaver.
There it is.
Yep, there it is. So the Elgato made this awesome green screen. Now, for those, let's explain green screens for those who don't know. So whenever you see us on our streams or on my stream, and you see the background blacked out or transparent, that's done with chroma key, which is done by having a green screen, and then you chroma key using the camera software, and boom, the background's X'd out. You just see the person broadcasting. Everything's transparent, so you can see the gameplay right behind the person or whatever they want to put back there. Now, before this, green screens are a bit clunky. Like here in the stream room, we have an entire wall that's the green screen. At my house, I had some tripods set up with a huge bar. I had to throw the green screen rag over it. It was huge. It's a mess to dismantle. It's a pain in the butt, especially when you have it in a small room or a small house, wherever your studio might be. If it's tiny, it sucks. So Elgato constructed this green screen where it's about, I'd say about 6 feet wide. You unclip it, you grab the green screen, and you pull it right out of the thing. It works so smooth. It comes right up, and you can plop it right back down easily and store it away under your bed, which is what I do, or store it in your studio closet, whatever it might be. It's super simple to use. It's very affordable. Elgato makes great. Oh man, this segment's sponsored by Elgato.
Sponsored by Elgato.
And I'm talking about an Elgato. Double Elgato love. Yeah, so regardless of this segment being sponsored by Elgato, I speak highly about them all the time. As a content creator myself, I use solely their products, their Stream Deck, their capture cards, and now their green screen, which is phenomenal. Next thing we need to get is the Cam Link to up our camera quality here That's in the future, soon. .tm.
We'll get the cam link once we get a DSLR, right?
DSLR camera, right?
Oh,
so
yes.
that green screen thing, though, it's so awesome. So I was always wondering how it works. So it pulls right out and it stays up with the mechanisms in the back. And I thought that maybe I had to attach it on something for it to stay up there. No, it just stays up automatically. And to drop it down, all you have to do is push it down from the top. There's no release or anything. And it fits very firmly. I think it's about this tall. So it fits under anything or inside anything. It's great. Highly recommend it.
People can tune into your stream this weekend and see it?
Yes. I will be streaming this weekend, twitch.tv/QZL, some more Battlefields.
Nice.
Hopefully Camelot Unchained in the future. Mark, if you're listening now, I would really love to stream Camelot Unchained for you and your community and myself, mostly myself, because I'm such a big fan of the game. Speaking of Mark Jacobs, stay tuned because after this short commercial break, we're going to be live with Mark Jacobs from City State Games, creators of Camelot Unchained, a game that I'm extremely excited about owning all of you in chat in. That's right. If you see me out in the battlefield, you better run, guys and gals, because it's wrecking ball time.
But if you see me, you take advantage.
Yeah, take advantage. So stay tuned. Right after the break, we'll be live with Mark Jacobs. Let's do it. Welcome back! And shout out to AMD Threadripper for powering our streaming rig. It's time to talk with the Mark Jacobs from City State Entertainment, creators of the upcoming Camelot Unchained. Mark is a video game developer veteran, having co-founded Mythic Entertainment, creators of Dark Age of Camelot, one of my favorite games of all time, Warhammer Online, Age of Reckoning, and more. And now he's working on Camelot Unchained with City State, which is slated to have its first beta release next week. Camelot Unchained had a successful Kickstarter campaign by raising over $2.2 million. For those of you that don't know, Camelot Unchained is a realm versus realm focused MMORPG set in a fantasy medieval setting. How are you doing this Friday, Mark?
Well, with only 5 more days until we're supposed to hit beta, tired is a good word. Tired is a very good word. But we're still pushing forward.
Man, it's crazy. Thanks so much for being on the show, especially with the time crunch.
I know.
Thank you for taking the time to be a guest on our show. We're going to ask you a couple questions, of course, have a quick chat. So how are you and the team feeling about the beta next week, besides tired?
Yeah, besides tired, we just talked to some of the backers who joined me on a call a few hours ago. And it's the same thing. We are just trying to get to the point where we can get a lot of people in for heavy-duty testing today, hopefully tomorrow as well. And we'll know after that, I think. I mean, if things go great, then we're certainly in good position to hit beta 1 on Wednesday. If things don't go well, we'll take a look at why they didn't go well and make a decision right after that.
Awesome. So with the upcoming beta, what is it you plan on keeping an eye out for on the development side? Like, what do you want the community to break, basically?
Everything. I mean, truly. The large-scale battles, the ability system, the multi-zone tech. Break everything. We want them. Crafting. I want them to absolutely break all of it. That's the whole point of, an old-school beta, right?
Right.
It's not the modern betas of, hey, this game's ready to ship in this country. It's been operated for years in another country, but we'll keep it in beta for a while. No, this is old school, man, where Things are going to be changing on a week-to-week basis, and we just got to hope it's as much fun when it's working properly as it probably will be when it breaks.
Are you guys going to be? I'm assuming. I've always wanted to know this. When you, as developers, are you really excited also to play with your community finally, to be in the mix with everyone and fighting with them and all that good stuff?
Oh, I think some are. People like me are like, I'm not excited at all because I know they're all going to kick my butt. The most exciting thing for me as a player is just getting killed a lot.
Yeah.
But no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
That's great. So I know you're heavily involved with the community. How has the community helped with development so far to this point?
Oh, all sorts of ways. They've helped, they've hurt. I mean, it's what you expect, right? People being people. There are great people among our backers who've sent food to us, little gifts, things that make us laugh, things that make us smile. People like our mod squad who have spent so many hours working on various UI elements for us that we couldn't have done, frankly, without them. Folks from who are builders who are now helping us build out the game. Then most people are just very content to sit back and wait for the game to come out, which is fabulous. And then every so often, you get people who are just total pains in the ass, and that's okay. I mean, it's part of the mix you get with humanity. But on the plus side, the vast majority of our backs, I mean, huge, absolutely, the vast majority are great because they're either content and to be patient as we move forward, or they're being helpful and nice. And, when my wife was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago, so many people, and she's fine now. She's
good.
great and fantastic. She caught it very early. Everything's good. But these people were so nice to her. People had no real reason to be nice, no ulterior motive. It isn't like, hey, send my wife a greeting and win a free tier.
Right,
There was none of that. They were just being nice out of the goodness of their hearts. And that meant so much to us.
Oh, man.
That's amazing. Yeah, that breaks the whole, company versus customer thing. And instead, it's just human to human, people being nice for no reason, just because they're human. That's awesome.
Exactly. And that's something I've always believed in. I mean, look, I've been engaged with gamers since I was making online games for people who dialed up into modems in my living room. So, I know that the vast majority of people are either good or special in a good way, right? Where they're trying to help, not special in the you shouldn't be on this planet with the rest of us way. But there's also some who are like that, who are just, they're mean, they're nasty, they're just not good people, or they're trolls. And, you deal with it. We've had, back in Mythic, of course, we had death threats, we had bomb threats.
I imagine.
But that was just a tiny percentage of a huge majority who were great customers, and some turn out to be friends, and that's what we have now.
That's amazing. That's what I love about you and the gaming community, is that no other community is like that. Like, you can't see a comic book being made and contact the creator and impact it. You can't see a movie being made and contact the director and say, hey, what about this?
How about
but when a
change
game
this
is being made, people can actually talk to you. They can tweet at you. They could submit feedback. They can play the beta, and they can impact how it's being made. It's amazing.
And to touch on the pains in the asses, I mean, there's, like you said, there are always going to be the trolls and the real bad ones, which whatever about them. But the ones that are the pains, what really shows you, at least my takeaway from it, is how passionate they are about the title. Because if that passion exudes, even if it comes out in a kind of an obnoxious way sometimes, at least they're really passionate about what you're making, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true, which is, for a lot of them. Some of them are not. They're just trolls.
Yeah, exactly.
They're people who just like to troll you. They're not, it's not even that they believe what they're saying. They're just trolling you. And in the real world, they could be the nicest people. who really love the game, don't have anything really to complain about, but they really like this persona of a troll. The trouble is that ends up taking time away from people like myself or typically community managers. It tends to anger people in the community, and it's just a waste of time. And in our cases, we're now really pushing for beta. Having trolls is useless. I mean, it's worse than useless. It would be a negative, have a negative effect on development. But the vast majority, are just not like that. They're good people.
Yep.
That's good. It's good to hear. What else do we got here? Sorry. So, with your background in MMO games, what does Camelot Unchained do differently from other games?
Well, I mean, we're certainly doing a good job of being late so far.
That's pretty standard in the MMO
community.
community.
What we're doing, I mean, we're doing a lot of things really differently. Our tech is outstanding.
Sure is.
When you look at some of the great games out there, whether they're great MMOs or now battle royale games, tech has a lot to do with it. When we set out to make this game, Andrew and I knew that our tech stack would have to be outstanding. We'd have to be able to do what no other MMO or game has done yet, which is have truly large-scale battles that are playable. And I'm not talking about just 300 people in a battle and having 2 frames a second, or having 1,000 people to break a world record. I'm talking about having a large number of people at that number or higher, and having a playable experience. And by playable, again, I don't mean 2 frames a second, because 20 years ago that was one thing. Now it's not so good. So we had to write our own engine, and so pretty much everything in the engine, minus things like we're using and partnered with NVIDIA, using their physics on the server, and that's a whole nother interesting story. Or the Y sound engine, or Coherent is going in for our UI work. Everything else in there is ours. And so you have this tiny little company at the time that says that they can build an engine that no other engine, or to support a game that no other engine in the world has been able to support. And we're doing it, and that's only the start. We have a lot of other really cool stuff in there from a tech standpoint, and we're very proud of that. And that's one of the things, or some of the things, that will set us apart from any other game. Look, we know we can't beat them, any of the big games, based on content. I said the same thing back when we started Mythic, or started work on Dark Age of Mythic. We knew we couldn't compete with Sony. Look at all the money Sony had. And we couldn't compete, with this other little company called EA. And then the smallest of all of them, of course, was Microsoft, right?
Right.
So how are we going to compete with these, small, tiny, insignificant companies when we were even, smaller and far more insignificant? And the way we did it was by making a very different game. And Dark Age of Camelot was, of course, a very different game from what had gone before. And so with Camelot Unchained, we're doing, we hope, the same thing, and we'll have the same result, or hopefully even a better result.
Absolutely.
That's something that really is incredible. The fact that you guys are building your own engine, which is not many companies would take that huge leap. That in itself is such a humongous task. And man, I'm so excited to see what you come up with. It's incredible.
You touched upon some impressive numbers there. Can you go over that one more time, just for those in chat that may have missed it or don't know? How many people again, or what are the ranges of how many players are going to be in these battles?
So we set out with a simple goal for the Kickstarter: 800 to 1,000 people in a battle,
nuts.
Not on a server. Any good team can do 1,000 on a server. We did 3,000 500 back in 2001, for God's sake. But, 1,000 people in a battle. That's what we set out to do. And again, not 1,000 people at 2 frames a second. 1,000 people at 30 frames a second minimum. That's the goals we set out when we started on the Kickstarter.
Wow, it's super impressive, totally insane. Is there anything more we're allowed to say about that, Alexis?
We're gonna touch on it later.
Touch on that later. Okay. On to the next question. So obviously we've already talked about this, and a lot of people know you've had a long career in the game development. How does it feel to still be working on games this far along in your career and still be in the passion, in the work, in the grind? How does it feel to be doing games for this long?
It's such a nice way to say, hey, you're an old guy. What keeps you going?
I was trying to make it sound nice. I'm like, wait.
We're old guys too.
This is sounding like, I'm really setting them up here. I don't know if I like this question.
It is what it is. I mean, look, I love what I do. I am absolutely passionate about my career. I love making games. I love working with my team. I love working 99.5% of the time. I work working with and talking with all the folks who play games. Even the ones who sometimes are trolly. It can be fun. I just love this. I love this space. I love being creative. I love being at a point, technology-wise, that what we're going to see over the next, oh my God, I'm not even sure it's going to be 10 years, but certainly at a max 10 years, is going to start to blow people away. I mean, literally blow them away. Cards are getting so powerful. PCs are getting so powerful. Other interesting tech is popping up, that the kind of games that we're going to be able to make as an industry is the kind of stuff kids like me dreamed about reading sci-fi. And it's going to be absolutely outstanding. Now, as an industry, we have to not screw it up, which would be a nice thing.
Right.
I'm looking right at anyone who uses the word loot crate or lock boxes or loot anything like that, for example. We're going to be able to do things that are so much fun that hopefully I'll still be making games when that happens, because the one thing, anyone who knows me will be happy to tell you, the one thing that I don't lack for is either vision or creativity. There's so much more I like to make, so many different types of games, and so many other stories I'd like to tell. But I really, frankly, haven't gotten a chance. I mean, most of my career was spent convincing people that I wasn't out of my mind for turning down what looked like a very promising career as a lawyer, or working for a certain government agency in order to make games at a time where games couldn't have been more looked down on, and online games. Talk about your redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I mean, online games was, the worst. I mean, everybody thought we were all of us, the great guys at Kesmai, who were doing such great work. Me, guys at Simu, even Simutronics and other companies, were all looked at as absolute morons for doing this, and for the longest time, thinking that people thought there was no future. I cannot tell you how many people, well, I could, you wouldn't believe it, how many people and how many companies we went to, when we were pitching first regular online games, but then Dark Age of Camelot, even after the success of Ultima, who thought that online games were never going to be anything. I mean, literally nothing. Not, well, that's okay. It's just like, who would pay for online games?
Right.
That was said to me so often. So, yeah, I still love it. I hope I can continue to do this for a long time. And it's been one heck of a ride, that's for sure.
I bet. So what you're saying is no loot boxes in Camelot Unchained?
ever. Ever.
Hashtag.
That's the best.
Hate them.
You heard it, chat.
I hate them with a passion.
Same here.
You know, I understand why companies do it. I mean, look, part of my job at CSE just was like at Mythic and even at EA, is to look at things and look at why certain things need to be done or should be done. I just don't want to do them. I don't care how you want to spin them. I think most of the time, certainly somebody might come up with a good implementation someday, but the implementations I've seen are just, to me, anti what gaming is all about. And so, no, I want nothing whatever to do with them.
Good.
Absolutely great to hear. Spoken like the true gaming legend that you are, old school legend, who's all about the content and the community. That's awesome.
So, here's the part I want to get to. So we got to take a sneak peek in an incredible demo video that you showed us for Camelot Unchained, and you guys are really pushing the power of modern technology. Can you talk a little bit more about the technological goals with the game?
Sure. So, in order to do what Andrew and I wanted to do with this engine, and of course the whole team, you have to do some very, very, very smart things. One of those things that has certainly attracted some interest for people is how heavily threaded our engine is. And the engine, by the way, is, when I say that, I mean both on the client and the server. So both PCs that you use at home or consoles, or the server, the PCs, the servers that make up the cloud. So that was a huge, and continues to be a huge challenge for a number of teams and most teams. And we're doing really well with it. When I interview people for this company, one of the things when we talk about tech is I tell them we have the most parasitic engine on the planet. We will take every core, every thread that is available on your machine. We will literally try to get every ounce of power we can. And not only does that give us an awful lot of, obviously, power to use for certain aspects of the game that are more obvious, but it also gives us power that we can use on things that are less obvious for the game going forward. But the big goal, of course, is the large-scale battles. And to do that, you really have two components that have been challenging for everybody. And it's challenging for us, too. Otherwise, we would have had the game out by now. The first is on the rendering side. Being able to have a ton of people in a battle, 3,000, for example, you have to be able to render 3,000 objects on the screen and animate them in effects and, all the good stuff. So there are some great teams out there that can do that. Obviously, Total War, engine can handle it. A buddy of mine, Dan Baker, up in Baltimore with Oxide Games, has a great engine. Mm-hmm. But it's still a tough thing to do. But that's part of the, power we have, from the engine to do that stuff. Plus, you have to do a lot of other stuff that Andrew and George, for example, could talk about in order to, render those, images. The second part is the networking layer. And, a line Andrew used when we were chatting with a certain company a few weeks ago, he said, well, that's where our secret sauce is, on the networking side. And that's absolutely correct. Being able to put 3,000, objects on a screen or 3,000 players on a screen is one thing. But connecting them all together, being able to see their actions, being able to interact with them in a meaningful way, and have that happen at a high frame rate, that no one else has done. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
Very true.
There's no engine out there that has shown that they can handle that kind of a load. And we can. We've shown a number of companies that we can do that. Certainly the video that you saw obviously showed that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's the kind of, the goals for the tech. And, there's a lot more beyond that, because that's only part of it. Things like, well, if you can render 3,000 players and you can handle the networking, if you have to then do it, for, say, in VR, you can make a VR game fairly easily because you have all the frame rate you need to do 3,000. So you could do something like a battle royale game. Not that we're doing this, a battle royale game in VR without any problem.
Yeah.
So, the engine gives us a lot of room to do other games going forward, and gives us as well a lot of power to do things in this game. Plus, it also allows us on the server side, because we're using all the power of the servers, that, look, we're paying for and using what we need, as opposed to, well, you can't really use all the servers or all the power on the servers because your engine can't handle it.
Right.
So ours can. So, those are pretty good goals for, the tech stack. We have other ones and other cool stuff that both Andrew and George and the team here has written that makes it, pretty unique and pretty special.
That's awesome. I mean, I told you this, but I've played every single MMO on the market. I'm a huge fan of PvP MMOs as well. I played back from Ultima all the way down to the most modern ones. In Dark Age of Camelot, I was on the Guinevere server. I played a Hibernian Blade Master. Any Hibs in the house? Anyone's in there? I played Guild Wars. I played Elder Scrolls. I've played anything that has those massive, large-scale PvPs. And what I saw in that demo that you showed me is unlike anything I have ever seen in gaming. And it was unbelievable. And I'm so excited. I showed Kevin immediately. I walked into his office and I was like, you got to see this. It was just unbelievable. I cannot wait to experience that firsthand in the game. You guys in chat that are talking about this and are super excited, you just wait. I'm sure you guys are going to just be as floored as I was, and I can't wait for everyone to experience it.
Yeah, when I saw the video, I was like, oh, okay, what is this? This is fake? Or what is this? Oh, this is something coming out 10 years from now? What is this? And you're like, no, this is now. I'm like, what? So is that in the beta or no?
No, that's it. That's just an engine demo.
Okay, that's the engine demo. But still, that's the engine.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is real? Like, let me see that again. I'm looking closely.
We watched it a few times.
Yes.
It's all, I mean, that's the thing. When I've always believed in this, and this goes back to, obviously the Mythic days as well. I'm a kind of big believer in honesty. And, as people have talked to us about our engine, they'll throw a lot of questions our way. And, sometimes I'll tell them what we can't do as well if the question, refers to it. We've got a lot, we still have a while to go until we would look at this engine and call it, anything close to, version 1 of it. But the core tech, the stuff that really makes things go, is in awesome shape. The things we're building on top of it, like a very, very powerful ability building system, that we need more work on, make it more efficient, making, sure that, again, to paraphrase Andrew with a quote, making sure that you just didn't put a couple 100-pound seat in a race car that was optimized, where everything was optimized for ounces. And, we have a very powerful system that we'll continue to refine, continue to make more efficient, because our programmers are really good and they have great leadership. And, I think when, all is said and done, by the time we get through beta and start streaming, people are going to see things in our game that they won't be able to see anywhere else in the world. And look, there are some sacrifices. This is the honest part, right? So it won't look as good, for example, as, well, you should be able to do 3,000 people and make it look like the best game under Unreal. Well, that's just silly because math, right? And, cards can only handle a certain number of, polys, and you can't really do more than that.
Yep.
On the other hand, you saw in the video how many, models were out there that didn't look too bad, and our new ones look even better. And a draw distance that's 4K. I mean, think about that. Yeah. You can see not only big structures, but you can see other players that far out. And that's just, crazy good, for a game like this, or frankly, any game. So we've got a while to go, but, what people are going to see, especially as Beta 1 starts kicking into high gear, and not Beta 1 day one, but as, we're really starting to hit our stride with it, I think people are just going to be amazed at the experiences and how different they are from whatever game they're playing.
For this beta that you guys are going to open up soon, is it going to be, if you can say this, is this going to be something that people can stream and record video of, or is it going to be private?
So we're going to start private, of course, because after all, we all know how many launch days of games have been perfect, right?
Right.
No problem.
Right.
Zero issues.
Wrong. So, especially considering how little time we've had so far to test. Thank you, GDPR.
Right.
That keeps on giving.
Kevin, you saw Kevin's face there. He knows. GDPR.
So I expect that things will go wrong, but once we are strongly in beta, once we've taken care of any of the really weird stuff that I'm sure will pop up, then we're going to start with a limited lift of our NDA and then a full lift of the NDA.
Beautiful. Well, you got a streamer right here who's dying to stream your game, so you just let me know when that
awesome.
is.
Can't wait.
Awesome. So another question I wanted to ask in regards to the engine, what's your overall goal for PvP in the game?
For me, try not to die as much.
Good luck.
The goal for PvP is really simple. We've got to make sure that when you're playing this game, even when the sides are not balanced, because they never are, whether it's a tri-realm game like ours or 2 realms, we've got to make sure that PvP is still fun. That's the goal. It's not, as much as I'd like to say, oh no, it's about having 3,000 people or 2,000 people. No, the goal is to have fun. So if it's 1,000 people and you're sieging a castle, and even though you've lost, it was still a fun battle, then you're going to want to play the game more, and you're going to stick around. That's the goal, fun. Now, it could be fun in the sieges. It can be fun in, group, versus group. It can be fun, with stealthers hunting, other people. It's all about the fun. It's not about, and I don't mean to dump on companies like EA. It's not all, in our case, about loot crates. It's not all about how can we get people to spend more money on our game, with games as a service. Because games as a service is a good thing overall, for the industry, because it means new things for people to play, which is great. Because that's what a subscription is. So for us, it's all about making sure that all of our efforts are spent on crafting and PvP so that they are fun for people for a year, 2 years, and beyond. Nothing else matters other than the fun.
Have you discussed any of the, and if you can say, have you discussed any of the mechanics to PvP death penalties? Is there anything you can shed on that?
Yeah, that's a subject that people like to talk about a lot on our forums that I've ignored.
Well, no, if you don't want to talk about it, we can move on.
No, I don't care. This is fun.
All right.
So what I can say, and this is the same thing I've said on the forums, is that death has to sting. What we don't want is, the whole idea of whack-a-mole PvP. You shouldn't be able to, hey, I died, now I'm just going to respawn right over there, and I'm going to come back immediately and kill you. Because that takes the fun out of it.
Sure.
It really does for this kind of game. So death has to sting, res, respawn, all of that can't be too easy. It can't. If it is, then we lose what the core of this game is, which is, of course, RVR.
Right.
It's not just PvP, it's RVR.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that well if you're constantly popping right back up, if respawning is too easy, if rezzing is too easy. You know, sieges that matter won't matter because everyone keeps coming back and coming back right away. So, you know, we want death to sting. It won't be, there's no FFA looting. I should just say there's no, full looting, not, free-for-all looting.
Mm-hmm.
There's no full looting. There's no, hey, you died, and now no matter what, you have to go back to the start. You have to go back to your home. There has to be some combination of smart planning by both sides or three sides. For example, in a siege, what to do when their folks start dying. And again, but not in a way that simply allows instant, returns at full health, every time you get killed.
That's awesome. That's great. I love just the fact that you said death has to sting is exciting to me because I agree with you. It's one of those things when you're playing something like that where it's a battle and it's a battle of attrition and one side's trying to get the side over the other when you can just respawn and come right back. Like, what are you trying to get tired? Just someone giving up? Like, I don't want to play anymore and leaving? No, something needs to hurt. So that's awesome. I love that.
Exactly, and then you have time to to rest up, to regenerate, restore, all that good stuff. And then if they come back or somebody else attacks you, you have a chance, hopefully, to still mount a defense. And if we have that kind of dynamic, then sieges are worthwhile. They're worth doing for more than just points. They're worth doing because, hey, now I can hold on to this for a while. And, that will give, your side benefits as well as your own benefits. So good stuff.
Awesome.
Awesome. So exciting.
So my next question, you've pretty much already answered. So instead of asking my next question, I'm going to ask something that I saw in the chat about that video.
Okay.
Do you ever plan on showing the video publicly? And if so, any sort of time frame or not really?
Oh, absolutely. We showed it as a surprise at Dragon Con last year. We didn't tell people that we were going to be showing the video. At least we didn't, tell all the press and say, oh, you had to come to see it. But certainly once we get into beta, we'll either show that video or a newer one. Because as you guys saw, the animations in that video weren't as strong as they needed to be.
Sure.
The effects were much simpler than the ones we have now.
Yep.
So, we may release it, but we also may just do a new one.
Something
because that's fun.
Yeah, you might do something that's I guess you could say more polished for public consumption. So therefore, you might release something related, but even better.
Exactly. Nice. I mean, one of the things that it's both with a little bit of shame, but pride because of what's going to come next. That we're still using a 32-bit client. So that's kind of hampered us memory-wise. So one of the things we're going to be doing, which makes what we're doing even cooler, quite frankly, that we're doing that on an older client, is when we go to the 64-bit client, that's going to free up a whole lot of memory that we now have access to.
Yes.
For textures, for doing other things that we just simply can't do now. So that will make the game look better as well.
Cool.
This is what you saw is not anything that we consider close to what the finished look of the game will be. That was just another stop along the path.
Got it.
Sure.
Just the tech demo.
Right.
Yeah.
And what?
Even more impressive.
Yeah, I know. And what we're going to see in beta is wildly different, pretty much, right? Is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, the beta works better. Looks better. Excuse me. It's still not there. Or won't be there until we can get the 64-bit client done, which will happen after we start beta 1. But what's in there now looks better than the video you saw because we were able to, decorate it more, bring in more props, or we call them building, builder-placed objects. We improved the water. We just did a lot of things to make it feel more like a real game versus a tech demo.
Awesome. Here's another question I'm going to throw out of left field. I saw this a lot in chat. Is there anything that you can touch on or what you envision for economy and crafting and all that good stuff?
Well, the crafting system is a bit BSC, and that's a term that, I've been using for years before it became cool. Batshit crazy.
Yeah.
So the crafting system really is something that, if we can get it right, and certainly this is the system very similar to what I wanted in Warhammer, and not do it all to the engineers. It wasn't anything close to what I had in mind originally. And again, no, and I mean zero fault of the Warhammer team, any of the engineers' fault for that system not being what I intended. This system is going to be much closer to what I intended, which is the kind of customization that will both sound terrifying and fun for both crafters and players. Right now, and this is something, as you know from following some of my games and our backers, certainly the backers who've been with us for a few years now, I'm not a big believer in putting out final or even things that look like final polished, products at this point, because what we want to do is be able to iterate. And the more resources teams tend to, spend on things, the scarier it gets to start iterating and making big changes. We've been saying this from the beginning, why we didn't outsource animations, why we're such a small team like ours on the art side. How could they handle the challenge? And it was all because I wasn't spending the money on that stuff because I knew things would change. That's the same with crafting. So with the crafting system, right now, and again, this is for B1 day, D1, we've got over 200 different items you can make. And that's just core items like, this is the glove for this armor set.
Right.
Then you've got, I think 60 different alloys and 70 different substances, and they can all be combined based on the quality of the items in slightly different ways. So that when I say that now you can create 200 plus items and then factor in how different they can be based on, simply the quality that you use, that's only day one. As soon as I start adding more, once we know the system works, adding variants on that, so that right now, for example, you can only make a sword out of steel. Now you make steel out of iron, and there are different types of iron.
Sure.
It's simple for us to add those varieties, but there was no point right now. Let's get the core system.
Sure.
So when we start laying in those differences, then it goes from 200 core items, and this is the smallest possible set of items you can imagine for the game. Now, how many different things can you create? And then when I add the next part of the system, which is infusions, you have the kind of customization so that there is truly, by the time this game launches, the amount of variety that you'll be able to create in terms of what's important to gamers is maybe not unlimited, because that's a terrible way to say things, because almost nothing's unlimited, but it's such a ridiculously huge number that the crafters are both going to be terrified and love it, because they will be able to say things like, yeah, well, I want to make this armor that's going to be a little bit more effective against this realm, but less effective of that realm.
Right.
And yeah, I can make these changes, so it's also going to be a little more effective against this kind of weapon from this realm. You'll be able to do that. And that's really cool for a crafter and very cool for players as well. And thanks to the system that we built for it, and Christina, who's been our counterpart out there in Seattle doing the code for it, the system that we've laid in is so easy to change and iterate on, that it's not going to be like other games where it's like, yeah, we want these changes, yeah, we'll get to them in a couple months. We can change things by the minute very easily if we want to. And the way the everything is structured, I can make changes to the not only the formulas, but how this stuff is calculated. Not just the formulas, but the entire method of it very quickly as well. So I think for crafters, if you want to see a system where you get crazy amounts of customization, where not everyone is going to be able to make the exact same items, then this is the game for you, because there is almost none like it out there where you really can say that if you want to be a very unique crafter, unless you say by unique, I want to make the same thing that everyone else wants to wear, you'll be able to be that unique, and you'll have a lot of exploration. We're not hiding stuff from the crafters day one. We're putting out all the recipes so they know. But when we launch, it's going to be different, especially with infusions. So there'll be a whole lot of exploration that crafters will have to do. It's not just, hey, my guild has dumped all these materials on me, and I level up from 0 to 100, in a couple of hours. It's impossible to do that. The numbers won't allow you to. There is no way to do that.
That's awesome. So one more side question I have of you, just being a fan.
Sure.
So one thing I always found, so even though, and this is just a kind of a personal opinion from you, so even though the game's being developed as for large scale PvP, right? One thing that Dayok had was how essential, and sometimes it would just happen, smaller gank groups were, or even single players running around. Do you see that being a trend in this game as well, where it would be, and what I loved about those gank groups is it was essential to have like a good mix of people, healer, mesmer, someone to take the damage, someone to give out the damage. Do you still see that being something in Camelot Unchained as well?
Yeah, I've addressed the whole concept of gank groups versus, say, specific stealth gank groups for this game. No, we expect group versus group combat to be an absolutely important part of the game.
Very cool.
One of the things that we said, and this is me, that I'm not a huge fan of, was the stealth gank groups who would just hang out under certain bridges or hang out in certain areas versus helping out in RVR.
Sure.
And one can argue that helping out in RVR is by, picking off the weak ones.
Right.
And I get that. But it shouldn't all be about, hey, we just have these stealthers who are sitting around for, 4 hours waiting for somebody to come by. We want our stealthers to be active in RVR, to actually have a role when it comes to keep sieges, to group versus group that is not just, hey, I'm hanging around here using permanent invisibility so nobody can see me. And that's what we hope to do, with them. But small group combat is really important to us. It has to be. It can't just be Zergs, because we're not, huge fans of the, keep trading Zerg play that you see in other, MMOs.
Right. That's exciting. So okay, let's steer off Camelot Unchained and go more to the man behind the game. Are there any games or media, movies, TV, music, anything that you're looking forward to that's coming out this year?
Well, I saw some good stuff already. Infinity War was fun. I'm a huge, comic book, sci-fi nerd. Always have been. I have fantasy as well. In terms of games, boy, I've stopped trying to look forward to games because I found lately, especially over the last few years, that the more I root for a game or a team, the worse its launch has been. So I stopped. I stopped even talking about it with people, like on the forums, massively, where I post a lot. The joke is I'll tell a developer I like, to break a leg, like old school, stage in New York or, the acting profession. Because the last few that I've said, hey, I'm really excited about this, good luck, guys, have just not ended well. So, I absolutely refuse to tell people what I'm excited about game-wise, because I want to be pleasantly surprised, and I don't want to wish ill, apparently, which has happened way too often on other developers that I expected great things on. The last one was No Man's Sky.
You're telling us.
wow.
You're telling us. That
I
was
was
Enough said right there.
originally I was so excited about that,
Yeah.
rooting for them big time, and
I feel you.
obviously, things did not go the way they hoped. But look, you know what? Give these guys, for as bad as some of the criticism was,
Mhm.
deserved as it was, that team has stuck together
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
continued to iterate on the game.
Yep. Continuing to
And,
update.
they
have
have
a big
summer
update coming out
pass
soon.
last year, made a big difference. They have
Mhm.
another one this year that I'm looking forward to, hopefully to seeing that will add more to the game. So, there have been times that developers like them, the guys, CCP, is another great example of that because Eve, had a terrible launch. They didn't sell a lot. There wasn't anywhere near the interest that people thought there would be. But those guys kept going, kept spending money, and took a game that numbers-wise did not have a good launch and turned it into one of the most successful MMOs of all time.
Yep.
And they deserve so much credit for that because other teams and other companies, publishers, for example, would have pulled the plug and just gone, well, you didn't, tell me if you've ever heard this before. You didn't hit the numbers we expected, so now we're going to have to shut down your studio or cut your team size. Never happened to anyone. I've never heard of that.
Never.
It's a rarity.
Even when you gave them the exact numbers that the game did, revisionist history is revisionist. So much credit, to them for what they did, both CCP and Hello Games.
Yeah, definitely.
So
anything else I can answer for you while I'm sitting here?
Yes, we want you to get back to developing. But one more question.
Sure.
What do you like most about PC gaming versus other gaming platforms?
Yeah, that's a good one. So what do I like? It's funny because for all the years that I've been making and playing games, I've played rarely on the console. And I think that's because of the keyboard. It's not that I didn't like Twitch games because I did when I was, younger and had better reflexes.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly than I have now. But for me, the PC games have always, whether they were online or online big scale like MMOs or even smaller games, the fact that PCs were being updated more rapidly, the fact that, before this change in cycles by Microsoft and Sony, you bought a console. And then when it came out, it was as good, maybe a little better, maybe a little worse. Then you can get a PC. Then you can get it on PC. But then a year later, or certainly no more than 2 years later, you looked at that console and you went, oh, crap.
Yep.
This PC now that I stick a new card in, can run circles around it.
Yep.
I think that above any other reason, both the use of the keyboard versus the controller, and the ability to just keep updating and getting different kinds of games, always drove me. Because I'm a fan of a lot of different games. I mean, I love strategy games, and I don't get to play those enough.
Right.
I like most. I do like, or did like, because now action shoot is not the best choice for me. My son's really good at them. But I really, I liked most types of games when I was younger. And, the PC was the right platform to get really almost anything you wanted, and consoles were not. Now that's changing, which is great.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
the console, when you look at the difference really between, now and just 10 years ago, the fact that both Sony and Microsoft's consoles are more like a PC than ever,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes it easier for folks like us to make a decision on, should we port our engine? Uh, 5 years ago, there's no way we would have looked at what we're doing and go, yeah, that's a good idea. But now it is a good idea. And it's something that, of course, we're thinking about for the future.
Interesting.
Very cool.
And, as they have decided, which I think rightfully, that, upgrading shorter than a 5-year cycle is a good idea, especially as quickly as tech is changing and will continue to change.
Yep.
So I think it's really interesting. I think it's great. I love the fact that we have now consoles and PCs and mobile, as really solid devices, for entertainment, whether it's games, films, whatever. And I think as that continues, and phones get more powerful, and PCs get more powerful, and consoles get more powerful, it's going to be even more interesting, as we talked about earlier. I've always been one who is, I even did an interview, I think 5 years ago, where I talked about this as well, that, the people who always say, well, PCs are doomed, consoles are doomed, just every time they do that, they show how ignorant of history they are.
Yeah.
Because we've been hearing this for 30 years. First console cycle ended, and it was like, oh, that's it for consoles. And multiple times during the same period, the PC was declared dead. God knows how many times.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's great. I hope it continues. I mean, I know it will continue. And it just gives more people the opportunity to get on more platforms and make a living off this, which is a great way of ensuring we're going to continue to have great games, make sure they can actually get paid for doing this, which was so not true a long time ago in a basement far, far away.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, Mark, thank you so much for being on the show. We'll let you get back to doing what you do best. Before you leave, tell people if they're interested in Camelot Unchained, where they can find out more, where they can become a backer, etc.
Oh, sure. If you like what you're hearing, the one thing that I say to everybody who asks about Camelot Unchained, make sure you do the research, read up on the kind of game we're making. That we're making an old school beta. Don't expect to come in and see an early access, what's really a late stage early access game with everything done. But if you're interested in large scale combat, if you're interested in a crafting system that's pretty interesting, and even more interested in the kind of battles you can't find anywhere, as long as you understand this is an old school beta, head over to www.camelotunchained.com and check us out. I think, quite frankly, I think most people will like what they see, but I really don't want people backing, at least not yet, until they understand what they're getting into with an old school beta. So if that doesn't scare you off, come to our site, see the stuff, and be ready to see something you've never seen in any other game. And before we go, I want to say one thing,
Sure,
if you don't mind.
Sure.
One shout out to my whole team. These guys and gals have been giving us everything they have. They've worked so hard, not only over the last few weeks, but over the last 5 years to deliver what we're delivering on. And I couldn't be more proud of this team and all of their efforts than I am right now. The amount of work that we've made up after GDPR is outstanding, and no complaints, nothing but tremendous effort from everyone, even the newest members, junior programmers and an intern who have really helped out. The art team has been great, programming, design, sound, everybody has really all pitched in and have put us in a very good position, if not to make beta on the 4th, to deliver to our backers what they deserve, a really great Beta 1 experience.
That's
so
awesome,
thank
Mark.
you all so much.
Well, congratulations to you and the team for everything you've accomplished so far. I can't wait to see what ends up happening with this game. I'm so excited about it. Talking to you got me even more excited. This Beta 1 can't come any sooner. I'm very, very hyped. You have an amazing community as well. They've been super active in chat and sharing the love and answering questions, so that's awesome in itself as well. Thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate you, and you and I will talk soon, I hope.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'll be watching the show more often.
Us.
Thanks, Mark. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. Break a leg.
Yeah. No, don't do
Awesome. Perfect.
that. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic. Did you see how excited I was during that interview? I was so
Yes,
hyped.
I mean, a lot of people in chat were saying that he always says the right things.
He
and
does. He really
did
does.
always say the right things.
And he's super honest, dude.
Awesome.
He
Yep.
doesn't hold back, which is great. I love that. And look, you could see how honest he was about telling people don't back the game unless you
Yes.
absolutely know what you're getting into, which not a lot of developers would do. They'd be like, "Oh, back the game. It's going to be the best thing you've ever played."
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that.
I
He
know.
literally said, no, don't give me your money. Do a little research. If you like what you see, then back
do
it.
it. Yeah.
But
that's
don't
amazing.
just back it blindly.
All right, so up next is Ask Origin PC. This is where you in chat ask us questions about PC, about video games, about ourselves, whatever you want. If you haven't been asking questions already, feel free to ask them now. Our producer is going to feed us those questions over, and here we go. This segment brought to you by Echo Gear. Big thanks to Echo Gear for the extra accessories and mounts and all the good stuff for our stream room. Our stream room has never looked cleaner or more tidy or more professional. Thanks to those people over at Echo Gear. EchoGear.com. Make sure to check them out. They have fantastic stuff for your whole gaming setup. A question from Mixer. Do you play Siege? I haven't played Siege in a very, very long time.
Which
Kevin?
Siege are we talking about?
Rainbow Six, yeah.
Oh, I have not played in a long time either. However, there's a lot of updates in that game. I did play when it first came out. I think you did as well.
Yep.
That's Alexis always plays when a game first comes out, and then he moves on. But I did the same in this respect, and super fun game.
Yep. Someone asking, will you be playing Beta 1 for Camelot Unchained? You better believe it. I said it earlier during the show, but I'll say it again now. If anyone sees Kuzi on the fields, and you want to taste my blades, you come at me, bro.
Taste my blades.
Taste my blades.
Hashtag taste my blades.
I love PvP, man. I'm super active. I'm looking forward to streaming the game myself. I'm going to be joining the Camelot Unchained Discord after this broadcast is over, and probably joining the forums as well, just to say what's up to everybody and see if there's any groups I could join up with. I can't do this battling alone.
Next question. Ask Origin, how did this company start up?
That's all you.
I'll give you the quick version, since we're already an hour and a half into the show. Quick version, how did Origin PC start up? In 2009, myself, Richard Carey, Hector Penton, we left Alienware, which was owned by Dell, it's still owned by Dell. So we left Dell and we started Origin PC because we wanted to get back to the roots, to the origin, if you will, of gaming PCs, when it was all about customization, performance, and the best support you could offer. So this company started as a spin-off of another company. We've been doing gaming PCs forever. This is our passion. This is what we love to do. That's the quick version.
So Alienware, ex-Alienware, started Origin PC, decades of PC building experience, sticking to the origins of PC gaming.
The origin.
Do you think VR is the future? Yes and no. I highly believe that VR is very capable of doing some incredible things. I can't wait to experience a full-fledged MMORPG in VR. It's something I'm very excited about. But I think the future is kind of a mix between VR and AR. I think it's going to be kind of something of both, because when you look at both pieces of technology and where they're headed, bringing them both together, which I've seen some demos hinting of stuff like that, where you start off in the AR world and move into VR, I think something like that's going to be the future. But yes, I totally see us being fully immersed in video games like The Matrix or Ready Player One or anything like that. I do believe that something like that will be in the future. What about you, Kev?
So do you think VR is the future is kind of a general question?
Mm-hmm.
There will definitely be more VR games and experiences in the future. For both commercial uses, both consumer use. So VR is the future in that sense. There will be a lot more AR. So AR is the future in that sense. But there's also going to be a lot more of your standard games on cell phones and consoles and computers. So there'll be a lot more VR experiences, but it's not going to take over and just kill
Regular
all of the
gaming,
gaming.
right?
It's not going to do that. But there'll be a lot more cool things happening technology-wise and experience-wise.
I like this next one. How many games do you have in your Steam library of shame? And have you looked at the area that totals how much money you spent on Steam?
Is there a way to calculate the Steam
You can see how many.
library of shame? Yes, as our producer, instantly.
Yeah.
How do you do this? Is there a website?
What, to tell you how much money you have? Yeah, there's a website.
Oh, I got to check out the website. I think we already talked about this in the...
Yep.
Yes. I have not looked. I'm afraid to look. So
Do you
how
know what
many
your
games-
total game number
I don't
is?
even know what my total games is. Or
It's a lot.
No, the total number of games.
Mine
that would
is
be an
in.
interesting stat. My total. We should take a look at that one day and do a segment individually. What is our
that's
total
good.
number of games? What is our number of games in the Steam
it's
library
in
of
Steam,
shame?
cool.
And how much money have you spent on Steam? 3 stats we should do in a future segment. You just created a future segment. Thank
There you go. My game total is. I know it's either in the 300 or the 400. It's a lot. I have a lot, and a lot of them
That's
I
a lot.
haven't played.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that many. I have no idea.
It might be even less. I might be over exaggerating, but it's a lot.
Because
It's
we're
a fair
talking
amount.
only Steam.
Yeah, only Steam, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else we want to answer? Someone asking in chat if you'll be streaming, if you'll ever get back to streaming on your own channel.
I don't know.
It's
my
daunting,
house,
right?
My house is being remodeled right now.
There you go.
It's a long story. It's a long answer. But my entire house is being remodeled. The entire downstairs, the entire upstairs. It's not the fastest remodel in the world. So my gaming room is kind of half constructed right now. So we don't even have both PCs up and running, let alone do we have both PCs able to stream.
Yeah.
Isabella and I are playing the Adventure Pals right now, which we were saying it's a perfect game to stream. But we're playing that upstairs. We're not playing it downstairs where our main PCs are. Instead, I'm using my Evo laptop plugged into my TV upstairs, and we're having a great gaming experience. But the bedroom is not set up to stream. So I don't know. I don't know when I'll stream again. Maybe I'll just come into the office and stream more often because I can just come into the office and stream anytime.
That's true.
So let me know. Hit me up on Twitter and let me know what you would like me to play and stream and when you would like me to do that. So maybe we'll do like a weekly stream session here in the office.
That'd be cool. Did either of you guys ever play EverQuest back in the day? Yes. I've played, and I've said this a bunch of times, I played pretty much every single major MMO, even some of the not major MMOs that's ever been released. I've tried it. The ones I played the most, though, were Ultima Online, EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, and World of Warcraft I played a little bit. Darkfall was another big one for me. Those are the ones that I played majority. Did you ever play EverQuest, or you weren't really a big MMO
I
person?
only played one MMO in the history of my gaming career.
And
that
was?
one MMO I played was Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh, that's right.
And I was
I
crazy
played that one a lot, too.
addicted to this game. I was so addicted to it that one day I finally just maxed out my character. And luckily I maxed it out before there was more content. So I was able to have the aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. I need to stop. And I just stopped 100%. I was hardcore addicted for like months. Every day playing during lunch. Every day playing after work. Every day losing sleep. And then one day quit completely. Sold my character for $300. And vowed to never play an MMO again. Because I realized I just can't. So instead, I play games that have a beginning and an end. I play single player games. I can play them, beat them, move on, and go to the next game.
Someone asked how long have you guys been streaming? So, funny you asked, this is actually our 1-year anniversary of Origin PC Live of this show. We've been streaming on this channel for about 4 years now. We do a mix of live builds, live PC builds, some gameplay, and then every Friday we do this show, Origin PC Live. I've been streaming on my channel on and off for about 3 to 4 years. I started streaming again about a month ago regularly, so I'm live almost every night.
You're even playing Fortnite now.
I'm even playing Fortnite now, believe it or not. I'm going to be streaming a lot of Camelot Unchained when it comes out, once MJ gives me the thumbs up. But I play a ton of stuff on there. Kevin, same thing. Kevin's been streaming here on this channel and on his own channel for about that time. And I think that's it for the questions. Thank you so much for the questions for Ask Origin PC. That was awesome. Great segment. And now for Post of the Week. So last week's topic for Post of the Week was make the best gaming shoe joke. We received a lot of questions. Now, where this originated was Kevin posted a picture of his Origin PC shoes, and people started making... God, here we go again. People started making jokes about these shoes, and they were hilarious. So we wanted to see what other gaming PC shoe jokes or gaming shoe jokes you guys had. We could only pick one. We got a ton of entries. We could only pick one, and that would be the winner of this Post of the Week challenge is at Moses_Bolin via Twitter, who wrote, "I love wearing my gaming shoes while playing turn-based strategy games because I always am one step ahead of my opponent." Kappa. Hashtag Origin PC Live. Thank you. You're going to be receiving a copy of Conan Exiles. Please contact us via Twitter. Kevin, what's next week's topic, and what do people have the chance of winning?
I like how you added Kappa there, which wasn't actually in the tweet.
I know. I added my own Kappa.
I had to look at the tweet and be like, wait a minute. You didn't actually say Kappa.
That was my own Kappa.
Next week's topic for Post of the Week is tell us your funniest VR game idea.
Oh, cool. We talked a lot about VR.
Get creative. Make an image. Make sure to use the hashtag OriginPCLive with your response, or we'll be picking the winner of the Post of the Week in next week's episode, or next episode, whenever that is.
Yep, and the winner will receive a copy of Conan Exiles.
Oh, another copy of Conan Exiles.
Yeah, we have a few of those,
which
is an awesome game.
I like how our producer likes to set up these things that are, setting it up for the internet to go crazy with. Keep it PG, people.
Oh yeah. But remember, anything that's been done on the non PG side's already been done. That's why VR became popular.
Yes,
so don't worry about it.
You will not win.
You won't win that one. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of Origin PC Live. That was a blast. Again, my name is @Kuziel. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch @Kuziel, where you can find me streaming every now and again. I will be streaming tonight and this weekend. Kevin, you can follow him on Instagram and Twitter. That's @OriginPCCEO. You can follow Origin PC across all social media @OriginPC. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Have a fantastic weekend. Love yourselves, love one another, and take care of yourselves. Have a great evening. We'll see you guys around or on next week's episode of Origin PC Live.
Thanks for watching. Have a good holiday. Have a good weekend. See ya.
See ya.